Okay, everybody, a couple of housekeeping uh, items. Usually when I do these webinars, I am answering questions at the end. So what that means is if you have any questions in your little control panel that you have for this webinar, there's a Q&A section. If you don't need to wait till the end, just go ahead and type in your questions anytime. The meeting is being recorded. I am going to send out replays. I know that's a big question. I do not send out the PowerPoint slides. They are our proprietary information. But of course, since you're getting the recording, you'll be able to see those slides in the video. So you're welcome to share the video with anyone you like on your team, anyone that you want to pass it on to. We greatly appreciate it, and I will be sending out replays to everybody. So, having said that, if you guys are ready to go, it is the top of the hour, and we're going to get started. We are going to talk about best 2022 home care website strategies, best 2022 home care SEO strategies, and best 2022 home care lead strategies. These are our top 3 things that we're going to talk about. Now, I also know that recruiting is big on all of your minds. It's big on everyone's mind. We just did a really big recruiting webinar not too long ago. If you need that link, it's in our YouTube channel, but also I can send you the link for that. If you need it, just send me a note through Q&A or through chat, and I'll make sure that you get the link to the recruiting webinar. Today, we're not going to talk so much about that. We're going to talk about how you, in 2022, can really blow your competition out of the water and have an amazing digital marketing presence. My name is Valerie Van Boeven. I'm a registered nurse, and I am the co-owner of Approved Senior Network. We have been marketing home care agencies and other senior care services for over 13 years. So my kids I have triplets that are 14. They'll be 15 in March. So we'll be 14 years old. So I started this when they were about 1 year old. I know, big risk, right? And it's been great ever since. We've never looked back, and it's been a wonderful ride, and we will continue for years to come. So when you're looking for a company to help you with all these things we're going to talk about today, my little pitch is this. We've been doing this for your market for almost 14 years now, and we're really good at it, and we understand what's happening in your market. We don't take care of roofers, plumbers, lawyers, your local water restoration company. That's not us. We are only about you, and that's all we've been about for all these years. So if there's anything that you need, I think we are well versed and ready to help it with anything. So let's get, my commercial is over now. We're going to get started. And I want to thank you all for being here, taking the time out of your day. This is our big webinar. This is our big year end. I usually do a back to school webinar and a big year end webinar, and then usually one kind of in the beginning of the year. And we have little ones in between, but this is our big year end. And everything I'm about to tell you is so important for your home care business. And I wish my little keyboard would work better. If you have questions, the first thing I want you to do is enter them in the questions area like we just talked about. And the next thing you can do is go to asnmarketingplan.com. If you want to take a screenshot of this page right now, you can take a screenshot of it, and then you'll have our contact information. You can call us at 888-404-1513. You're going to get probably a faster response if you use our contact form. We will call you back, or we will email you or message you if you do call us and leave us a message. But the reason we like our contact us form is because we get a lot of information about you, and we know what you're calling about or what you're wanting to discuss. And it just makes everybody's communication a lot faster and a lot easier. So that is how you get a hold of us. In the meantime, put all your Q&As, your questions, into the Q&A section, and I will answer them all at the end. So today I am going to go through exactly what you saw in your invitation. Website must-haves for 2022. Have you outgrown your website? Are you tired of doing it yourself? Or is it janky? Are you being ghosted by your current website developer? 2022 SEO strategies. If you don't know what SEO is, you'll know a lot about it by the time we get done here. How to get super visible locally in 2022. Learn the strategies that only the big boys know. How to best manage your Google business profile in 2022. Top list of to-do items. 2022 lead strategies. Staying organized, avoiding follow-up failure, and automation to close new clients. If you do everything on this list, if you get started and do the things I tell you to do on this list, you will have a much better year in 2022 than you did in 2021. And you got to keep prospecting. Even if staffing is an issue, you cannot stop doing a better job of getting more visible in your community. You can't stop marketing. You can't stop recruiting, and you can't stop marketing. Those are the two things you always need to be doing in this market. Our focus and commitment at Approved Senior Network is comprehensive online marketing. We have an all-inclusive suite of inbound marketing strategies for senior care businesses. We help you organize lead and recruit acquisition. So all of your leads, all of your recruiting, we can help you organize that into one place. And the senior care market, like I said, we've only serve you. We don't serve anyone else. All right. Senior market challenges. I usually start every webinar with this so that you understand that I understand what's going on. You need more clients, but you also need more staff. These two things go together like peanut butter and jelly. You got to have them both, right? And we know what your target markets are. We know that it's not just seniors, it's the adult children of the aging parents. And we know that your other target market is qualified caregivers with the right credentials. We talk to our clients and people who inquire with us every single day about both of these things. And we understand a huge amount of challenges that you guys have and a huge amount of victories that you have when your online marketing is done correctly. What are successful senior care businesses doing right now? This has been true for a long time, and this is true today. They're building referral partners. Online marketing is really important, but you know what else is really important is all of your offline marketing. We were blocked from doing a lot of offline marketing in 2020, meaning you couldn't really go walk into an assisted living facility and say, hey, how you doing? You can do that. It's getting better, but it's not over, and it's hurt a lot of companies. And you know, we're all kind of recovering from that. Hopefully you're doing very well and that this hasn't been a big issue, but you always need to continue building referral partners. Community outreach. Yes, absolutely. Community outreach is important. That means participating in those senior fairs and those health fairs and job fairs and getting out there and being, you know, a volunteer or supporting a nonprofit or doing the Alzheimer's walk or whatever it is you do. It's community outreach. Your online presence. And this is what successful senior care businesses do every day. They, you know, juggle all of these things and they do a really good job. Your online presence has to be superior to your competition. You will never win if you're working with a jank store website that never gets updated. You're not going to win the game. And it is an algorithm and it is a computer, and we know exactly what to do to win. Recruit and retain. And of course, just like I said a minute ago, you're always marketing, but you're always recruiting and trying to figure out better ways to retain those caregivers. I could go on and on about that for like 3 hours. The role of online marketing is to promote your professional image so that people trust you as a professional, as a set of professionals, as a team, as an organization. You have to have top-level visibility wherever you are. Wherever you're located, your local area, you need to be near the top. And we have a lot of big franchises that really overwhelm those top spots. But the secret is you can beat them. A standalone independent agency can beat a franchise if they do everything right and play their cards right. Now, having said that, if you're in a franchise, there are some pros and cons to all of that. Lucky you, you've got a huge website behind you that can really serve you well. Bad news is you can't really make any changes to it, or not big changes anyway. You're kind of locked in. But good news, you've got people behind the scenes working for you on that stuff. Collaborate with referral partners. You got to stay top of mind with referral partners. You need to be sending them at least once a month a newsletter. Yes, I said newsletter, and yes, that still works. And yes, it is appreciated. You got to stay top of mind with families. Drip campaigns, which means emailing them every few days to check on them, make sure they're okay. And you are the expert. You really are. Once you hang your shingle on your door and say ABC Home Care is now open, you are the expert. So don't ever doubt that. Once you're live, you're it. People are depending on you to guide them to the best senior care options. So you need to build awareness and trust. That's articles, content, social media. You can't have a Facebook page that hasn't been touched in 3 years. That doesn't work. That is not trust. That is not authority. That doesn't do anything for you. You can't have a blog that hasn't had a post in over a year. That doesn't help. Organized and efficient follow-up. If you are unorganized or you're overwhelmed with all of the different business cards and all the leads coming in, we're going to talk about that at the end. You got to get organized. All right, so here are the best 2022 website strategies. Now, again, if you have questions, go to the Q&A section, add your question at any time. You don't have to wait till the end because we're gonna fly through those questions so we can get everybody on their way to their next event for today. We are gonna talk about all the things on this list. Here's the diagram that I like to show. Your complete senior care marketing solutions start with your website. They don't start with your Facebook business page. They don't start with your LinkedIn profile. Your website is your showcase. Your website is the first thing most of the time that people are going to see today about you. Everybody's on their screens, right? This is where people see you first. This is the first thing people see is right here. If it looks bad or it doesn't function properly or it's slow, I'm moving on to the next guy. So you want to make sure your website is the hub for everything and that it works correctly and that it looks nice. But more than being beautiful and gorgeous, it has to be fast. All right, so your website plus, and I'm going to say this because I know this is how it works well, plus an ASN Spark CRM account, which is we're going to talk about at the very end, which is how you stay organized. These two things control and organize your cargo. Your cargo is your content, paid ads if you do them. Some people don't. Your recruiting, your Google My Business, which is really important. It helps you stay organized with all the things I have over there on that list, your staff, your tasks, your leads, your referrals, and your recruits. Beep. It handles all of that. So your website comes first, your organization comes second, and that's with a good CRM. And those two things together should work hand in hand, and they should control all the rest of your stuff. So you know exactly where to go to find all of your contacts and leads. You know exactly where they came from. You have content being posted. You know what spurred that contact to reach out to you because of the content that you're putting on your website. So it goes on and on and on, but this is the formula that makes everything work together. Okay, so about your website in 2022, and this is also true for 2021 and 2020 and 2019, your website is in the top 5 of the most important assets your business owns. So while you're really interested in investing in that office furniture or that $700 logo, you don't need a $700 logo. Your real asset, the one that you should be investing your time, your energy, and your money in is your website. If it's not good, it doesn't really matter what your logo says. It doesn't matter what that brochure says, because that's not where people are. The top 5 most important assets in your business, one of them is your website. This is how people get to know you. It is worth an investment of money and time. It is worth showing up on the first page of Google. It's worth investing in that process. It is worth being updated regularly. You don't set it and forget it. This is not like Ron Popeil where you set it and forget it. You don't do that with your website. You should own your website and all of the content. You should own your website and all of the content. If you don't own your website, if you turn off this program and your website disappears and you haven't been given the opportunity to get the files and move them to another place, you don't own your website. Do not underestimate the power of a well-built website that will provide new clients and inquiries for years to come. I can attest to this 13 years later. We have clients that have been with us for almost the entire 13 years. It's crazy. We've seen people retire, sell, pass away. I hate that. We have been through, we've got tons of new clients, and the good news is people stay with us because they know we're doing the right thing. So do not underestimate the power of a well-built website, but also don't underestimate the power of a well-versed team behind you. Because Cousin Eddie, who built your website last year, that is not a well-versed team. I mean, love Eddie, but no. Your prospects are on their screens. People are on their screens. Even that 90-year-old is on her screen. She's been forced to be on her screen. She loves her screen, maybe. She's on her phone, on her iPad, on her tablet, whatever she has, she's on her screen. Your adult children are on their screens. They're on their desktops at work. They're on their phones every other part of their day. So it is important that your presence is amazing on that phone. All right, some more must-haves. Speed. Speed. I'll talk about that more. Clear calls to action, a professional image, lead capture, mobile responsive. You can see in this image, it's not maybe super clear through a Zoom meeting, but in this image, you can see all the different versions of the same website. It looks beautiful no matter which screen you're on, and that's what's important. All of the screens work. The most important thing that you see here is that the phone number is at the top in your face on every single screen. You can't miss that phone number, and you can just click on it and call that office if you're on your phone. So the screen, the way your website shows up on the screen is really important. Your website in 2022 is your first impression. First impressions are important. It's your first introduction to that person. It's the first decision they're gonna make perhaps about elder care issues. It's the first phone call they're gonna make when they're struggling and they're having trouble. And it's the first hope for a solution to their senior care challenges. Your website is their first hope for a solution because it represents you, and you are the expert based on this website, and you have all the answers, and they need solutions right now. So when your website represents you in a good way, they're going to pick up that phone and call. They're going to fill out that form. Those are the only two things we care about. We want them to trust you and fill out that form or make that phone call. In 2022, your website must be fast loading on mobile, easy on older eyes. So we have big text and big phone numbers. And also, if you look in the corner of every single one of these websites, there's a little, on the right-hand side, you can see a little wheelchair. That means that your website is ADA accessible for folks with vision or hearing issues. Your website should be comforting and hopeful, and it should provide solutions instantly. So your big message right in the top in the middle of that page should tell them that you understand what their challenges are and that you're here to help. And remember again, sidebar, don't forget to put your questions in the Q&A section. Q&A section is where your questions go. All right, have you outgrown your website? I put a nice little example of our friends at Home Care Professionals here. If your website is more than 2 years old, it may need a technology update. Internet technology changes about every 6 months. So if your website is more than 2 years old, it's been we've been through at least 4 technology updates. The way things move, the way things are hosted, the platform that it's on, those kinds of things are behind the scenes and you may not see them, but Google updates all the time. So if your website is more than 2 years old, it's time to think about something new. You may have have outdated information on your website. I see that a lot of outdated information. Your rates may be outdated if you publish those. Your staff may be outdated. The services you provide are outdated. It may be slow on mobile and desktop. So if you haven't tested it lately, I use gtmetrix.com, gtmetrix.com. You can just Google that, and you can put your website address in, and it'll tell you your speed. Now, it's not the only speed. It's not the only platform that does that. Google has their own called Lighthouse, and that's the one you should really go by, but it's a little more complicated. So GTmetrix does a good job of giving you basic information. You may have an outdated look. It might just be, you know, very 2015. It might not be mobile responsive. If you haven't looked at your website on mobile lately, you probably should take a look at it on your own phone. It may not have any SEO. A long time ago, maybe if you did this website, you know, web developers typically are there to develop your website. They're not there to search engine optimize your website, add all those pretty keywords. They don't do that usually. And I've seen some websites where they did do that, but they were all the wrong keyword phrases. Ugh. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. So it might not have the right SEO, or it might not have any SEO. It might have broken links and images. This is a big no-no for Google. If you have a bunch of broken links, images, we've recently updated 2 or 3 websites, redone them, and they have Flash on them. Flash doesn't even exist in 2 years. It may have 404 errors and broken pages, and you may not even know that. You probably can't even tell unless you do a deep dive into the back end of that website. You won't even know all the errors that exist. So if any of you want a free SEO audit, there's no way you're going to find all this stuff on your own, or you don't know how. Right there at the bottom, you can screenshot this slide. You see the bottom, the URL I put down there? It says asnmarketingplan.com/free-SEO-audit. Free-SEO-audit. And if you go there, or if you just go to our website, I'll personally do a free audit for you of your website. And I'll tell you what's wrong with it or what's good about it. The website that you see on the right-hand side here, the top and the bottom are the same people. This is Home Care Professionals. They've been a wonderful and amazing client for a very long time in California, and we've done a lot of things for them. But one of the things we never did for them in the past was their website. And we've been kind of barking at them for a while to redo this. The top website is their old site. The bottom website is their brand spanking new, amazing, fast, crazy, awesome website that generates leads. So they went from an outdated look. This website, by the way, that you're looking at on the top, there really weren't any pages other than maybe a couple, but when you click on services, costs, frequently asked questions, join our team, it was the same page. It was just a really long website. And that was kind of a fad in web development a few years ago, is just to have one long page of all your content. And when you click on the navigation, it just scrolls down to that piece that you're looking for. That's no longer the case, and it can't be the case anymore because of what I'm going to tell you in the SEO section. So now they have a beautiful website that's rewritten, recreated, and redone, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And we're honored to be part of that new creation. All right, are you tired of the do-it-yourself website platforms? If your website is Wix, Weebly, Squarespace, Marketing 360, or GoDaddy, it used to be GoDaddy Website Tonight. I don't know. And yeah, I use that. That was like 1999 maybe. Anyway, if you have one of these websites. Now, I'm not saying that someone can't have a gorgeous Wix, Weebly, or Squarespace website or Marketing 360, but what I am telling you is that if you said to your Wix representative today, could you give me all my files so I can put them on a WordPress website and host it over here? They're going to say, sorry, that's not how it works. Maybe they can give you your files, maybe they can't, but most of the time, that's a platform in and of itself. It is not WordPress, which is what we use. And they can't just bundle up your website and give it to you so that you can put it up on another. You can just go to GoDaddy and say, hey, put my website up. It doesn't work like that. So I've also found them to be slow. They don't have all the elements that you want. You have a very basic website. And then when you go in and ask them to do things like add a blog, add SEO, add this or that, that price starts jacking right up there. So what you thought was a very economical purchase actually was a complete waste of time. So I'm not saying that they can't be pretty. And I know, for instance, oh, this gets me. I do like listening to Joe Rogan's guests, the interviews he has, not MMA fighting or anything crazy like that, but he has some really intelligent guests on. And I like listening to that. But one of his, he advertises for a Squarespace. And I just want to go every time I hear that. Like, of course, Joe Rogan, Coca-Cola, a model. Yeah, they can have a Squarespace website. Who cares? Everybody knows his name. His name is who he is. And if you Google it, who cares if, of course you're going to find his Joe Rogan website. You are not that person. You are not you don't have that fame and that, that's not your persona. You're a small business owner in a local area who is competing against giant franchises for a spot on the first page of Google. So using one of these other platforms that doesn't serve you well doesn't make any sense. Even if it seems cheap, it's actually wasting your time and costing you leads because you'll never be on the first page of Google. Okay. So if your website is on Wix, you may need a technology update. You may be slow on desktop. You may have an outdated look. You may not have any SEO. Same stuff for this whole thing. If you want an SEO audit, hit me up on asnmarketingplan.com, free-SEO-audit, and I will run it through the mill for you so you can see what's going on. And maybe it'll come out awesome. Who knows? But I would highly recommend WordPress, which is what we use. We've used it for 13 years. We know how to keep you safe. You do not have to worry about malware. You do not have to worry about your plugins being outdated. All of that is taken care of automatically. We are on it like white on rice. We're always on it. All right. So where is your web developer? Now, this is another thing that happens to us a lot. We are going to blog post for somebody on a website that we did not create, and the blog needs to be added to the website. But all of a sudden, nobody can find the web developer. Cousin Eddie doesn't do websites anymore. He had to get a real job. Your online marketing friend doesn't do websites anymore. They had to get a real job. Your contact at the chamber meeting doesn't do websites anymore, had to get a real job. The business you usually work with is so busy now that customer service is the pits. Our customer service is not the pits because we live and die by customer service. So we are always answering those support tickets. Your web developer lives in another country and communication is horrible. They are 12 hours different in their time zone. I mean, there's all kinds of issues there. Your web developer simply won't answer your calls, texts, or emails, and you have no idea why. This happens all the time. So if you're not sure who your website developer is, if you're not sure who owns your URL, if you're not sure of any of those things, you need to get it together. You need to own your website. You need to own your URL. You need to be in charge of all those things, not your web developer. And you need to have a web developer that can march you through all this stuff and be right there for you. If you don't know where your web developer is, it's time to figure it out and get a new one. Okay, so finally, for websites in 2022, your website is your #1 representation. You need a professionally designed website for senior care businesses. You need search engine optimization. Now, I'm going to talk about that in a minute and show you what that looks like. You need it to be mobile ready and responsive, optimized for speed, monitored 24/7, 365, ADA accessible, ranks high on major website performance reports, full-time technical support team, and your website is the hub for everything you do. So it should easily integrate with your CRM, your blog, your newsletters, your client referral forms, your lead follow-up drip campaigns, Facebook, LinkedIn, everything. And it should have a little chat on it. We have a little chat. You can see in this picture right here. See the little head? Our websites, if you're in one of our other programs, our websites come with that little chat. You don't have to spend $99 on chat or whatever you spend a month. It's already in there. All right, this is my favorite. Best 2022 SEO strategies. Ooh, I love this part. It's going to seem totally geeky to you, but when I see a website go from here to here, makes me very happy. I don't get like that very often. So how to get super visible locally in 2022, learn the strategies that only the big boys know and make them work for you. How to best manage your Google business profile in 2022. It is part of SEO. Top to-do items for your Google business profile. By the way, Google My Business is now Google Business Profile. Who really cares? Google's changed the name like 40 times in the last 10 years. Anyway, it's now Google Business Profile. What it takes to get to page 1 on Google in your local area. Here we go. These elements will help you get to the first page rank in 2022. Are you ready? Screenshot this baby. And also don't forget to put your questions in the Q&A section. The Q&A section. Put your questions in the Q&A section. This is so exciting for me. You need a well-designed website, which we've already discussed at length. You need advanced schema. This is where it gets nerdy. There are plugins that you can add to your WordPress website that say they will add schema for you. They add like 2 lines of schema. They say your business is a local business and it exists. It's the end. What we do is we add a lot of schema. We divide your schema into what we call entities. So you are an organization, you have locations, you have services. We do schema for all the different pages of your website based on what Google wants to see. And you'll never see any of it. But you know what Google sees? Google doesn't see all this pretty stuff on the first page or on the home page of your website like we see as humans. Google only sees the behind the scenes stuff, all that machine coding. So we add to the machine coding to tell it, here we are, here's what we do, please take notice of us. These are all good things. And Google says, thank you. Thank you for adding all of this so I know who you are and where you're located. And that makes your website go beep. All right, you need an excellent keyword strategy. We do this for all of our clients. Most of you have essentially the same keyword strategy, but there are some differences depending on your niche, your business, what you do. You need long content pages that are designed to rank. I'm going to show you that in just a minute. You need town pages that are designed to rank. Not everybody does need that, but most of you do, and I'm going to show you that as well. You need ongoing, consistent blog posting. We blog post for our clients, and those blog posts don't have to be 2,500 words or 1,000 words. Those blog posts can be shorter, like 500 or 600 words, but they link to those beautiful long form contents that are 1,000 words. And that's what tells Google, this is an important page, this is an important page, this is an important topic, and keeps you indexed all the time and re-indexed all the time. If you don't have a blog, you're never going to get to the first page of Google unless you advertise and pay for it. All right. Off-site link building and citations, yes, important, but even with a few links, you can really make a difference and get to the first page of Google. You need an enhanced Google My Business listing. What does that mean? I'm going to show you a couple of things in a minute. You would think when you log into your Google business profile, there's really nothing I can do here, but secretly there is. You just have to know where to look. And then Valerie's secret SEO sauce, which I don't give away, but I'll do it for you if you want us to build your website. It's just the little things that we know when we create our content that help Google know that you're an authority in this topic. All right, your website and your Google business profile should be best friends. So whatever your website says, your Google business profile should say the same thing all the time, every time. So they should love each other and be best friends and say exactly the same thing. If I say this, you say that. If I say this, you say this. It's always a mirror image. Your website and your Google My Business profile should be mirror images of each other. They should complement each other. They should have the same keyword phrases on them. They should be taken care of very well. And when you do that and you marry them together, that's what makes you show up on the first page of Google in the 3-pack, in the whatever. if that's what helps. Okay, here is a local search checklist. This is a Google My Business checklist. Now there's more to this story, but if you wanted to get started on your own, screenshot this page and you can have this checklist. This is part of what we do, but the other thing is we post to our clients' Google My Business pages when they're in that program. We post to them somewhere between 2 and 5 times a week. It depends on what they purchase from us. And those posts complement what their website says. So the imagery, and by the way, if you post an image to your Google My Business listing and it has words in it, Google reads the words in the image. That's a huge tip. Google reads the words in your image. So instead of just a picture of a caregiver and a senior together, if you put words over that, Google reads those words. Important. Your questions and answers that are on your Google My Business listing, Q&A, those should contain keywords. And also reviews. Every time you get a review, I don't care if it's a 1-star review or a 5-star review, you should respond and you should use keywords in that response. And you should not be, you should be, I guess, it's a long story, but don't be crazy in your response. Be very constructive, especially if it's a bad review. You know, you have to be very professional. You're not writing a reply in a review for the person who left the review because they might be crazy or disgruntled or something. You're leaving that reply for the next person who reads that review so that they know the person who left the 1-star review is insane. You don't say they're insane, you just very nicely make the point. Okay, so that's enough about Google. So I said I was going to show you what the difference is in content. So it used to be that we could put a little bit of content on a page and get it to rank and blah, blah, blah. That is not the case anymore. So on the left-hand side of the page, you are seeing the content that we wrote for this client. That is over 1,000 words of content. Now this is like a picture of the page as you would, you know, it's so big, it's long, it's a long page. This is their website. This is their skilled nursing care page. And this is everything we wrote on that page. So I had I have a little, I guess, add-on to my Chrome desktop where it takes a picture and it just scrolls down the page and takes the whole picture. So this is the entire page you're seeing right here. This is what we usually see on the right-hand side. This is typical. This is what we've seen for years. This is what everybody's been doing. This is the whole page. Personal care services. It's a list and a little, you know, review, blah, blah, blah. That's it. That's the whole thing. That will not compete with your competition anymore. It hasn't in a while. So if you have a website with small paragraph descriptions for each service, you have to fix that. That has to change. You need one page for every single major service that you offer, and it needs to be written in long form content. So we don't ask our clients to write that. We write it for them because we know they're never going to write it because you got other things to do. So we write that content for them. And we search engine optimize this entire page, every image, every headline, everything you see here. And what you can't see here is search engine optimized. So this is the page that will compete with the big franchise players. All right. This is a location page. So not everybody needs location pages or town pages, but some of you do, especially like, for instance, this is our client. They are in Houston. They need location pages that are amazing. So on the right-hand side, what we usually see, and I'm going to take full credit for this, we designed that page a few years ago. And that was okay back then. It ranked for some stuff, but it doesn't rank anymore. It won't rank anymore like that. That is not what works. You can't have a town page that has a paragraph and a form on it. It does not work. If you look at today's location page, you can see the entire content for one location is on the left-hand side, and that's a long page with a lot of content. And not only do we talk about the services that our client provides, but we talk about the location where they provide it. And we're very specific with Google, and we tell them a lot of stuff. And when they see that and index that, that makes Google super happy. So location pages and what have to be also be very long in order to rank. And again, not everybody needs those. Okay, so if you have any questions about SEO, you put them in the Q&A section and I'll answer them at the end. We're getting close here. Best 2022 lead strategies, how to stay organized with leads and referrals, how to avoid follow-up failure, and how to use automation to close more clients. All right, I'm going to try to illustrate this for you easily. We're going to talk about tracking leads and following up with leads, okay? In your business, leads come in from many places. Then what happens with those leads? So some of you may have a very well thought out, very organized process. I have no idea, but I'm going to tell you what I see. I see clients with forms and phone calls coming in and chats from their website. I see all this stuff coming in from all these different places. And I see a lot of different staff handling stuff. I see some staff handling forms, some staff taking calls, some staff answering chats. Sometimes it's the same person, but sometimes it's multiple people. And stuff gets missed. You want all these things to be available, but what happens after these things are here? Leads come from many places, and then what do you do with them? Do you enter them into a CRM database, an Excel spreadsheet? Who follows up? What do they say when they follow up? Who makes appointments? Who leaves notes, and where are those notes left? Some of you, again, are very organized, but a lot of you are not organized. And it just comes from a place of being so busy that it's hard, and thankfully you're busy, it's hard to step back a minute, stop and say, okay, we're missing things here because we have so much happening and we're not organized. So I'm going to show you a great lead process. Now, we do have a CRM that is specifically built for sales and marketing for home care and senior care businesses. It comes with, the CRM comes with any program that you are in with us. We do not charge you extra for the CRM. It comes with the program. And it is great, and it does a lot of stuff. So I'm going to give you a few examples of this. A call comes in or a form is filled out. Someone on the phone in front of the computer enters that lead into the ASN Spark CRM. So they log into their account, they leave it open all day, and they add that lead in there. And they add any notes that they need to add and all of that. The lead is sent an automated email and a text thanking them for calling. So you don't have to do that. Once you enter the lead in, we have it set up so that the email and text will spit out whatever you want it to spit out, and that person will be thanked for inquiring. The lead is sent an automated appointment reminder. Oh, I'm sorry. The lead is added to your monthly newsletter. The lead is sent follow-up emails over the next 30 days, which we created, but you edit and make your own. You also have a monthly newsletter attached to this so that once they receive some drip emails, they're also added into a monthly newsletter. Into a monthly newsletter. And if you set an appointment with them, maybe it's going to be, you're going to go to the house and do an assessment, or maybe it's a phone appointment. That lead is sent automated appointment reminders. So they know when you're coming, they don't forget when you're coming, or they don't forget when your Zoom call is, or they don't forget when your phone call appointment is. All of that is automated. As long as the lead is entered into the CRM, whatever automations you want to have happen after that can happen, and we can set it up for you. This process avoids follow-up failure. It increases revenue. It keeps your leads organized, and it's mostly automated. So you don't have to do a lot. You don't have to wonder if somebody emailed them. As soon as they reply to one of your emails or a text or a monthly newsletter, you see that and you're notified that someone's trying to get a hold of you. So all those things are taken care of. We also have a review process that's built into the CRM that works much the same way. And again, just like the CRM account is part of all the services you get the review process for free too. So you identify a happy client or staff member, and you make sure that their information is already in the CRM. If it's not, you add it in. And then the client is sent a review request with triage. Do you know what triage is? Triage means if they're not happy, we are not going to send them on to your Google My Business page to leave a crappy review. If they're not happy, and we can identify that because of the way the review program works, if they want to leave you a 1-star or 2-star review or 3-star review, then they're sent to a form that asks them what's troubling them and how we can make it better. If they want to leave you a 4-star, 5-star review, then we send them on to your Google My Business page, your Facebook, your approved senior network listing, whatever it is that you want, wherever it is you want them to leave a review. So triage means we don't send people who are unhappy over to your Google My Business page. It does not happen. All right. The lead is asked to leave, the client is asked to leave a review 3 times over 9 days. And if they don't do it, then they don't do it. We don't bug them anymore. When a new review is left on your Google My Business or Facebook or anywhere else, you receive a notification. Hey, you have a new review. Yahoo! And then the lead is sent an automated thank you note. So all you have to do is identify the client, make sure they're in the CRM, and we tell you what to do, what button to push, basically, and this is all taken care of for you. All right, referral sources. We talked about how reaching out to referral sources is still very important. It always will be. When you identify a new referral source, or maybe it's an old one, you make sure that they're in the CRM, you enter them in really quick. You can send an intro email or a how have you been email. We can put templates in there so you don't have to say, you can say the same thing every time, but with their name interchanged. You can send follow-up emails every week, checking in. It can be automated. You can schedule an appointment to visit them or Zoom with them. And in the CRM, you have scheduling capabilities, and you can use Zoom or any other process you want. And then the referral source is sent an automated thank you for the meeting note. Thank you for the meeting. So you can use this to reach out to your referral sources. This process avoids follow-up failure, increases revenue, keeps communication with referral sources organized, and it's completely automated. This is what our ASN Spark CRM looks like. So you have your account. You sign in to your account, and you can do this on your mobile device. So this is the desktop version you're looking at. You can also log in from your mobile device, and you can take care of contacts, responses, communication from your mobile device. And this is the system that handles all of your sales, marketing, and recruiting in one place. So if you're in our recruiting program, you know that this is where you log in to do all your recruiting too. And it's amazing, an amazing program in and of itself. So you can do everything from here. What can you not do from here? You should not leave client notes in here. You should not put personal, how many times they took a bath this week or whatever. That's not what this is for. It's not for managing your clients. It's for sales, marketing, and recruiting. It replaces all of these services: email marketing, SMS marketing, which is texting. All the texting is in there. You can email, text, and phone call from the system. Sales funnels, website builders, you don't need those. Call tracking, surveys and forms, bookings and appointments, CRM and pipeline management, recruiting and applicant tracking systems, tracking and analytics, courses and products, and reputation management. It will do all of those things for you, all of them. So here's how to identify and track every lead, no matter what you use. First of all, I highly recommend a tracked and recorded phone line on your website at the top. That phone number, the real phone number to your office, should be at the bottom of your homepage of your website with your address for Google's purposes. But you can use a tracked and recorded phone line at the very top of your website. You should have a list of questions right next to the phone that every person asks, and it should always be the same set of questions, basically. You should have forms that provide reporting and follow-up automatically. Those would be on your website. You should use a CRM that tracks every form automatically, which ours does, notifies you instantly by text or email or both that you have a lead, records every incoming call from the website, alerts you of missed calls, texts back missed calls. So if someone doesn't answer the phone in your office or they don't answer their cell phone, boom, it texts a person and says, we're sorry we missed your call. We'll be with you in just a minute. We'll call you back. You should have a system that puts them into a little drip campaign of emails and allows you to text, email, and call from one platform. That's why we put this together, is so that you could do your sales, marketing, recruiting from one place, get rid of all that extra stuff. You don't need constant contact. You don't need active campaign. You don't need all that other crazy stuff that's expensive. If you're in one of our programs, like our Scope program or any of the other ones, it's included. And we have training videos for you, and we can help you. So we want you to be successful in 2022, and we've included every tool you need for online success. How to follow up with leads automatically. So when this is just talking about the 30-day drip campaign to all your emails, you add your emails to a monthly newsletter. You add your email addresses, your contacts to a monthly newsletter. Monthly newsletters do work. They are amazing. We have a team of people that do all of our monthly newsletters. We do about 200 or so, 165, I don't know, somewhere in there every month. And they are hand created. They are the same template, the same look every month, but all of the articles from your blog are added to the newsletter. All of your company news, caregiver of the month, awards that you're winning, whatever it is you're doing, we make that newsletter about you and how you are benefiting your community, and then educational articles after that. All right, how to re-engage with old leads automatically. So a lot of you have bought leads. You have bought a Place for Mom leads. You have bought assisted care or care in homes or whatever, and you've got all these Excel spreadsheets with all these leads on them. Here's what I recommend you do. You gather up all the leads you have from all the locations, business cards, forms, phone calls, other platforms, purchase leads, get them all together. Put them in one Excel spreadsheet. Upload them to your ASN Spark CRM account, and let us send one text and one email to that entire list. Let us help you with this. You don't need to do it yourself because it's sometimes a little confusing. And when people reply, they're either going to say, if they're really old leads, they might say, my mom passed away. That happens. But if they're still in need of services, or they have new service needs or whatever, they're going to text and reply automatically. So they're going to send an email back. They're going to text back. You're going to have the opportunity to re-engage with people who 2 weeks ago didn't know, or 2 months ago didn't think they really had an issue, but were just searching for information. Now it's real and they need help. So gather up everything you have, put them into one place, and then send out one email. It's called a re-engagement campaign, and watch the business come in. So last slide, complete senior care marketing solutions. Your website should be the hub for everything. Your ASN Spark CRM account should work with your website to control and organize your cargo, so you know where everything is and you can keep it all organized. Your content, your ads, your recruiting, your Google My Business, and all of your leads, and all of your staff, and all of your tasks, and your referrals, and your recruits in one place. That will help you in 2022 tremendously. All right, I'm going to leave my little screen up here on the questions. If you go to asnmarketingplan.com/contact us, we'll be happy to have an appointment with you to help you understand more. Whoop. Let me make that play from current slide. All right, and I'm going to go to the Q&A section. So right now, if you have questions, please enter them in to the Q&A section. Okay, so Clayton Smith asks this question. Along the lines of owning your website being important, which it is, and that's what we talked about, if you were to take part in your ASN Spark CRM, would we own the funnels, the data, or for some reason we separated, if for some reason we separated from your service? Okay, so if you're using our services and you use the CRM we're talking about, typically the funnels are built into the system, which, but email drip campaigns, you can export them and keep them. In fact, we actually give you a copy of them in a Word document, so you could put them in another CRM somewhere. They're yours. They have your information all over them, so it's okay. The contacts, absolutely, you can export them, take them with you. So we don't want to hold on to anything that might be yours. We typically don't put we create all of our websites separate from our CRM. They're in a WordPress, they're in a WordPress format. So if you were to say to us, we got to go do this over here, then we would just bundle up your WordPress website and send it over to you. You would at that point have everything you need, and then we'd export all of your contacts out of the CRM. Anything else you want, you could go in and get, copy and paste it or whatever, and then you could put them all in a different CRM. So we will let you export anything you want. We'll help you. We'll give you the files, whatever you need there. I don't, if there's something I'm missing, let me know, Clayton. But we want you to have your data when you leave our services, if you leave our services. All right. Alex asks, what is schema? Can you be more specific? You probably have to Google it. It is machine code that Google reads on the backside of your website that you never see, and identifies your location, the name of your business, what services you provide, all the different locations where you provide that service, the type of service, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. So when you have a website built by someone who doesn't specialize in SEO, if they're just a web developer with no SEO skill, they're just going to put a website together for you and make you happy and make it look great, which is fine. But if there's no additional advanced search engine optimization done to the back end, then you're just going to have some very basic stuff, which doesn't hurt anything, but it's certainly not going to help either. It's just going to be there. And everybody has the same schema. If they've never done advanced schema, everybody's got the same thing. So Google's like, whatever. Can you do websites for corporate franchises? Well, we can, but I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. If you are in a franchise, you have a contract with that franchise. And that franchise does not want you to have a website by someone else. They want you to use their website. So while we can do anything we want, we don't want you to, you have to look at your contract. You have to go by your contract. There's a reason why franchises do what they do. Now, if you wanted us to do a website for an entire franchise, we've done that. Yes, absolutely. We work with the branding. We make sure that all the franchisees have a really good representation underneath the corporate brand. We can do all of those things, absolutely. But what we never want to do is have an individual franchisee come to us and say, I don't care about my contract. You just do this for me. That's not okay. We've worked with franchises in the past, and we know how important your branding is. So absolutely, we can do a website for an entire franchise. Absolutely. But we don't want to do it for an individual franchisee, unless they specifically have permission, which sometimes they do. Okay, hope that helps. For email newsletters, you said your team has a capability of making all of them, including blog posts, caregiver of the month. So this means our internal marketing team will not do anything but submit information to you. Justine, your internal marketing team can do anything they want, but if you want us to do your newsletter, all they have to do is make sure that we have all the content that you want in that newsletter is blog posted. We go to your blog, we grab up all the content that's amazing that you've posted over the last, or we posted for you over the last few weeks, and we put that in there for you. They can, submit content to us. They can tell us which, thing they want to have up in the top. We typically just do it for you because it's easier and we know it gets done, and then we know it goes out on time. All of our newsletters either go out on the 1st of the month or around the 1st or the 15th of the month. So we have very strict deadlines, and it works great. It works great once you get into the groove. But internal marketing teams can do a lot of stuff. They don't have to be the creator of the newsletter. It kind of takes a little bit of extra stuff off their plate where they can focus on other things. Val, what's the cost of the Spark CRM? The ASN Spark CRM is included, like Michael, you're already in some of our programs, so you can use it anytime you want. And we have to go over that with you and show it to you and all that, but you're already in our programs, so you already have access to it, and we can help you and your staff onboard. By the way, if you all do have a website with us or you're in one of our programs, we do an onboarding call to help you with the CRM. We don't just let you flail around. So, but sometimes clients aren't that interested in it, and sometimes they are. We want you to be interested in it, and we want you to go ahead and use it to your advantage. Happy to talk to you about that. We are a current client. This is the service still working for email referral list. I think that's something. Could you please, or like, okay. Hey, Robert. I'm not sure exactly which thing you're talking about. I know what a drip campaign is, but it only lasts for 30 days, and then everybody's in your newsletter. So if you want to send us a support ticket, that's the way to handle this, and we'll just go ahead and figure out where we are, what we're up to. Maybe a phone call would be good at this point. And so you can we can go through everything together, because I know if you got a lot going on, it can be confusing. And so just send me a support ticket. For email marketing series, do you make them too for franchisee recruitment? We currently use ActiveCampaign, and we have to set everything up. Yes. So anything you want to do, I understand what ActiveCampaign is. I know what it is. We can take care of it all. You have access to it, full access to it. And once we show you how to do it, you're welcome to fool around in there and do whatever you want. But we'll set that up for you and take care of it so you don't have to. I know it can be a lot. Do you also help with leads and referrals? Cynthia, yes, we do. We have a Google Ads program that we have lots and lots of clients in that. Some are very high, they spend a lot, and some of them spend, just a little bit for leads. We can't necessarily help with referrals as much, but we can definitely help with leads. For referrals, we can help with drip campaigns and, hi, how are you kind of stuff and emails like that. But for leads, we do have a Google Ad program. If you have one of our websites, if we build your website, all of your lead forms are included, and you're notified of every lead that comes in. And when you're on the first page of Google for some keyword phrases, you do get some of those forms filled out pretty quick. We are the franchisor. How can you encourage franchisee recruitment? So if you're a franchisor and you want to sell more franchises, that's a big question. Well, you should have an internal marketing plan for that already, way beyond what we would know. But I would say that if you look at some of the bigger players in the market, then you can get an idea of how they handle franchisee recruitment. We've always built a website that is either separate from the the main franchisor site, or the franchisor site has several pages that are dedicated to franchisees. So from a marketing perspective and from a drip campaign perspective, we can help you with any of that stuff. If you already have lists of people who might be interested, we can help you get together those drip campaigns and do all that. From a website perspective, if you have a big website that we've helped you build and you've got your franchisees already over here, you're going to have a few pages over here that talk specifically about buying a new franchise, or about being part of your family. So it would be something, yes, we can help, but the scope of that we'd have to talk about. We use a different CRM, ClearCare. So how would the ASN Spark work with it, or will it completely replace it? This is a great question. Many of you use ClearCare, Access Care. I'm going to assume that you might be talking about recruitment for this. I'm not sure. So for ClearCare, when you're using their CRM and you have clients in there and you do your scheduling from there and you do payroll from there, that all stays with ClearCare. We don't want to get involved in that. Our CRM is only for marketing, sales, and recruiting. So therefore, when leads start coming in, our CRM takes care of a lot of the things that ClearCare won't do. The automation, the texting, the emails, the being able to call in or call out from that CRM. Getting that person onboarded, once they become a client, it's 100% ClearCare from there on out. When you're talking about recruiting, we take care, it's a whole nother presentation. We take care of the front end of everything. We get the people in the door and get your arms around them and say, don't ever leave. I'm just kidding. We get all the recruits coming in, and we get them set up for their appointments and their phone interviews and their in-person interviews and their orientation. But once you're hiring them, they fill out the ClearCare application. The official application of your business is in ClearCare. They fill it out there and they're done. We don't have them fill out an application. We just want to know some basic information about them, some deal breaker questions, pass them on to the next thing, which is getting them scheduled, and we automate that whole process. I can send anybody who wants a link to our recruiting program demo and the last webinar we did. It's also on our, probably on our website under recruiting, but happy to do that if you want to email me or Bob at Approved Senior Network, Valerie at ApprovedSeniorNetwork.com. So ClearCare has its own set of things that it does. And those things are more they are hired, they are a client, those kinds of things, scheduling, staffing, payroll. Our stuff is all about the front end, the sales, the marketing, getting people in the system. Once you're sure they're a client or you're sure they're an employee, they go over to ClearCare. So I hope that helps. It does not replace ClearCare. It may replace some of its functionality, but not all the big stuff that it does. That is my last question, I believe. Does anybody else have any more questions for me? If not, we're going to call it a day. I think we are at the top of the hour. So I want to thank everybody for coming. Please reach out to me, reach out to our team, reach out to asnmarketingplan.com and let us know how we can help you. Those are the things you need to do for 2022. And if you have all of them correct, you will have an amazing 2022, especially when you got a great team behind you. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.